Hey everybody, it's Lynn. I'm gonna have to start over. I'm sorry. Wait, maybe I just need to cry and start over. Okay. It's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I'm just gonna have to steel myself. Jason always laughs at me the way I pronounce things. I'm gonna have to just sort of detach my mind from this. But it's really hard looking at that. So I wanted to share this journal before it goes in the mail. There is a piece of netting, which I really love for this because I think it's symbolic. A lot of things in this journal are. It ties around the journal, but you can still see my cousin Seth underneath the netting. And I think all we in the family feel like he's not with us right now, but there's just a veil between us. So I'm just gonna read, let's open this up. And let me just tell you about the front. So the cardinals are for Seth, my cousin, and the purple, he loved purple. So there's some purple color underneath my stamp. And then on the front, so Vicki, let me tell you about this. Vicki is Seth's mother. There is glass in this little frame. I started to take the glass out, but it looked so much prettier with it. I think it's sturdy enough that it's gonna be okay. You can open it and write on it. And I asked Jason about it. I said, you know, I don't know how I feel about the glass, but I love the way this looks. And he said he thought it was nice because it's a reminder to be gentle. And Seth was really gentle. He was a gentle soul. Okay, I'm not gonna cry anymore. I'm gonna try really hard. There's a little cross charm here and an angel. And then, so Vicki, let me tell you about this too. I'm gonna read this letter so everybody will know who everybody is. These cords, there's one little stitch on each side. These beads have Seth in little letters, and hopefully they're on there good. If you've watched my channel, Vicki, and I think you have, you know that with these journals, my thing is you do whatever you want to with them, and the more you add, the more special they become. So if you don't like having this frame on the front, it's really easy to remove. There are 2 stitches, one on each side. If you take some scissors that you can get in there and just clip, this is gonna come right off. And then you could put the charms somewhere else. You can do this however you want to. And same with this right here. Like these fit in fine around these little ties right here, but if you wanted them moved, you could clip that, and you could put these on another piece of cord and tie it. So let's get into this letter. And this is in the front, until we are together again in heaven. This is my cousin Vicki with her 2 boys. That's Seth and that's Clay. And if I read you the letter, you'll understand about this journal. First of all, this picture in the letter, I'm gonna post it in the video so you can see it. About this journal. Growing up, we were all close as cousins. There was my mama, Melba, her sister, my Aunt Shelby, her oldest brother, my Uncle Jackie, and the baby brother, my Uncle Randall. From the 4 of them, there were 10 of us cousins. Vicki, my Uncle Jackie's oldest child, is one of those cousins. Vicki asked me to make a journal for her so she could write about and remember her wonderful son, Seth. When we were all young adults and starting to have our families, Vicki had Seth. There seemed to be a few mild developmental delays. Seth was evaluated when he was 2.5 years old. It was felt he either had Fragile X or was autistic. Blood work was necessary but was not done right away due to Seth's anxiety over doctors. The diagnosis was given when Vicki's second child had blood work done around the age of 3. Both boys were diagnosed with Fragile X. Vicki has not only been a champion for her boys, the best mama anyone could hope for, but a source of gentle education for people who had never even heard of Fragile X. What is Fragile X syndrome? Fragile X syndrome, FXS, is caused by a mutation of a single gene, FMR1, on the X chromosome and is inherited genetically, often unknowingly. Everyone has the FMR1 gene on their X chromosome, but when a mutation occurs, it can cause intellectual disability, behavioral and learning challenges, and various physical characteristics. There is no cure, but therapies, interventions, and medications are often prescribed to treat behavioral symptoms like anxiety, aggression, and ADHD. I think of Vicki as a preservationist of our family history in a way. So many of us moved from where our families had lived for generations, but Vicki is still there. Whenever I visit that part of North Carolina, I can feel the presence of my ancestors. There are gravestones going back to the 1700s, photos going back to the 1800s, and lots of traditions that remain in that rural country area. It's beautiful. Much to everyone's heartbreak, Seth became ill and passed away on November 15th, 2021. Seth had just turned 29 years old in September. He was a very kind, loving, and helpful young man. He did all of the family's laundry, washing, drying, folding, and putting it away. He did all of the vacuuming in the house. He loved to ride his bike, spend time with his family, and talk to his grandparents on the phone. He never forgot anyone he met and loved to meet new people. He loved John Wayne movies and Clint Eastwood movies. He loved watching YouTube. A big Seinfeld fan, Andy Griffith, and Barney Fife. He also really liked sunglasses. He was our motivator, comedian, and caring son. He loved to pray for people. He was always smiling. Seth was affected mildly. He had delays when he was a baby and did not always meet milestones, but he was determined to learn and did not give up. I miss him with all my heart. He also wanted everyone to love him, and I honestly think most people did. Vicki. So left to right, this is Greg, me, Lynn, Stacy, Andy, Adam, and then Vicki's on the end. And that was one of our beach trips when we were little. So it's really hard to talk through this. I don't care how many times I've tell myself you're not going to cry. It's impossible. So Vicki, just going through here, there's Seth's favorite color, or one of them, I think. Oh, and this fabric in the front. So let me tell you about this. I found this scrap of fabric, and I don't think of it, I don't know. I hope that you're okay with this fabric. I think it could go in many directions, but the occult is not one of them with us. We know that. And the feathers are so special. After I went to see my dad's gravesite, and I had not been there since he was buried, when I came back, there was a hawk feather outside my workshop. And I feel like that our loved ones can visit us and do visit us. I have no doubt in my mind that my dad was with Jason and me when we went to the beach. And the feather is just to symbolize these reminders we get from our families. So Vicki, if you want to cover this, and the only reason I say, occult or whatever, is because the star and the moons are in there, the stars and the moons. But I over worry about things. But I think Seth would have liked this fabric. I think he would have liked the purple. I don't know. You can tell me if I'm wrong about that. But I think he just loved life. I think Seth was just really special. So there's the purple paper here. Now this, I attached 2 sheets of paper together to make it big enough to go in the journal. Here's a little tag with an angel on it. And this was an accident, but I love that the color of this ink turned into basically the same color over here. There is some green. There are some fabric ruffles. And of course I tape on the other side of that to help reinforce where the stitches are. Just some pretty paper for you, Vicki. I know you like pretty things. And there's more purple. That's a textured paper. And of course, watching my channel, you can glue over the top of anything. You can paper clip things in here. There's just a little bit of staining on this page. I thought that was fun. And there's some of the John Deere tractor green in that piece of fabric. A little bird stamp there. And then, of course, there's a rose. That made me think about the day we were all together for Seth's funeral. A lot of space for you to write. And then this is some fabric I bought recently. It's got the cardinal on it. Here is another tag. That's all 4 of you together. Oh, and let me add, Vicki and I talked about the journal, so her name is in the letter, but these boys could not have asked for a better dad either. Just such a supportive set of parents. Okay, my daughter just called, and maybe that's a good thing. My mind is a little more settled. And I'm so sorry. It's just so hard to talk about things like this without becoming really emotionally involved in what you're looking at. But I don't know where I left off, but this whole family, you couldn't have had more supportive parents. And I think this is the page. Okay, this is from a vintage book of birds, and there's the cardinal. And Vicki, that's why that is attached to this other page to make it larger. There's a little pocket here, and I love the suitcases. It made me think about traveling, and we are all going to travel in a very permanent way someday until we meet again. There's a little bird stamp here, and I do like to put pretty washi tape on the opposite sides of where I put the ruffles on, and I just love this. I love the butterflies and the bees and the moon. So here, I love this quilt pattern, and that goes back to like the area where our family is from. Very country, just very good Southern people. The food is off the charts good. It's all about family and church, and you just couldn't ask for a better family. So Vicki, I thought this page was beautiful. Vicki loves to garden. She's got beautiful flowers, and just she's like a little farmer. So the purple is for Seth, and the flowers are for you. And you said Seth loves to ride bikes, so I've got this card here of the vintage bicycle, and that could be a journaling spot. I put 2 pieces of notebook paper together, which is why it's glued like that, but that makes it, the lines go this way, and it's able to be a full-size page. And then I happened to find a picture of an old tractor, so that is on the front of this pocket, and there's the purple underneath. And then this is the Carolina Panthers blue. There's another card for you to write on. And then here is another little tag. I didn't put anything in the little punch out here. You may find something you want to put through there. But I did like that little stamp of the, I'm not sure it was supposed to be a cardinal, but it did have the, what do you call it? Anyway, you know what I mean, the point on top. So I just watercolored that one kind of red. And there's a page from my art desk. So you can think about me when you see that page. And I love that this trim is the Carolina Panthers blue. It's pretty close. Definitely pretty close. It's in that family. And I think Seth would have liked all the quirkiness about this journal, maybe. Here is a page from a hymn, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain. And that, I had to reinforce that with some of the paper tape. And then this page is really soft. It's really tactile. And I love that it's this pale purple, and it just feels like, I don't know, it made me think of so many things. Like an old couch cover, or maybe, I don't know, just it's tactile. And I like things like that sometimes to calm my thoughts. So blank space for you to write on. And this page has got that really pretty John Deere green in it. And there's the center. So this one was put in, these signatures were put in with a sewing machine. And like if you want charms hanging from the outside, you've seen me before just take a safety pin and pin it to the outside of the journal. You could hang things from the outside. You could also take any kind of, well, this one's really not long enough for it, but you could take any kind of cord or yarn or whatever you want to use, or maybe something that was Seth's. You can just tie it around and see, that's really pretty. And you don't have to tie it so tight that it pulls the journal in, but you know, it's a way that you can add things. I can just leave that there. Where were we? So you'll know why that's there. The little charms on the front, that I like that cord is sort of that Carolina Panthers blue as well. And this is just a vintage stamp with the beautiful fall leaves. And you know, Vicki wanted me to just acknowledge that November 15th, which is very soon, it will be 2 years since Seth passed away. So this time of the year, it is so beautiful outside. And anyway, just remember my cousin and her wonderful family. So there's another pocket with the suitcases. And that's the rest of that page from my art desk. You know, I noticed I got the butterflies upside down, but as we know, sometimes life is upside down. And more purple. There's another little card with some bicycle gears and another journaling card with the Carolina Panther blue. And then there's just a little note for Vicki and one of the stamps about how, you know, an individually crafted work of art. There are smudges, it's not perfect, but that's the way it's meant to be. And then this, Vicki, is just an old image of a lady hanging clothes out on the line. So Seth took great pride in taking care of their house. And, you know, if I might say, sometimes if you knew ahead of time that your child was going to have a delay or a disability or any kind of illness, whatever it is, it might seem to others, well, why would you want to go through that or have a child like that? But Seth was truly a blessing to his family. He really was. And I can imagine having a child who wanted to take care of the house and just be that glue for everybody, the motivator, as she said, you know, the comedian. So this is a feather that I found. I just put that in there. It may be a cardinal feather. I typically don't use things like that because, you know, it's tricky. And I'm not selling this feather, so, you know, you're not supposed to sell feathers from songbirds because of the Migratory Bird Act. And I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to come out here and get mad because I picked a feather up off the ground, but I do try to like acknowledge things like that because it was done to protect the birds. So Vicki, I'm putting this in here. It's just an old book cover, and you can use it as a hard surface to write on if you need it anywhere in this journal. So you can just move it around, and like if you want to be able to write, it gives you a flat surface underneath the page. I'll package this really carefully, and you feel free to change any single thing on this. It was made with love, a lot of love for you and Seth and Frankie and Clay and everybody. So I'm gonna close for now and get this packaged up, and I will be back really soon. And thank you, Vicki, for asking me to make this. I love you, and hopefully we can see each other in person soon. Okay, I'll see you soon, and bye for now.